Hi, welcome back. Crazy times, crazy times. The last video did mental. It went absolutely wild. I mean, for me, there's not a lot of views for some people, but went crazy for my for my for my usual. So thank you very much for watching and liking and commenting and all of that jazz. Um, Throwing it back a little bit today with Black Ops 2 Zombies Buried. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Um, we are here to talk about something that's been on my mind of late, which is school. Weirdly, and my autism diagnosis when I was about 14, 15. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Uh, well, I'm not going to complain about that. So here we are. I hope you have all been doing well, and keeping yourself nice and warm. I guess. I don't know. It's been a long week for me. I don't feel very well today. I'm all over the place, but I thought I'd get a video done. Try and keep in the swing of things. Because I've been in quite a good little rhythm. I just don't want to mess that up. Um, so yeah. Um, when I was about 15-ish, I think. Can't really remember. When I was about 15, I got diagnosed with autism or ASD. I probably would have gotten diagnosed with like Asperger's, but we don't do that anymore, apparently. Um, or at least at the time, I was diagnosed. We didn't do it. We haven't done it since. So it's all autism. That's how it is. Um, and uh, and I went through the diagnosis process because I was really struggling with my education. Not necessarily being educated. It was getting to education that I was struggling with. I couldn't quite get up in the morning or find the will to go. I hated being there. It made me very anxious, very sick. Um, I thought a lot. I was ill. Like I was sick. Sometimes I would be sick. Um, because I was so stressed about going to school and being there and all of that. I just hated it. I absolutely hated it. It didn't agree with me. Um, and I wanted to not go, basically. And so I didn't. I didn't go. Um, and my parents got into a lot of trouble because of that. Um, to the point that the kind of the suggestion was, there needs to be a reason. There needs to be a reason um, that you're not going, so that my parents didn't get fined a lot of money. Um, and so I went through the lengthy process of getting diagnosed with something, or getting looked at. Basically, main goal wasn't to get diagnosed per se, but I was, they wanted to find out what the actual issue was, and so I got diagnosed. And it was stressful. It was very stressful, but not as stressful as going to school, which I know some people will not understand. They won't get why I couldn't just deal with it. Um, and I wish I could tell you, because to this day I still don't understand. And there's some things that that still make me feel like that. and that still I struggle to do. But I'm working towards getting better, and it's difficult, you know. It's always going to be a part of me. It's always going to be something that I am, um, but it's about finding ways to cope with the way that I am, if that makes sense. Um, because you can't just get rid of it. It's not something that you get rid of. It's well, I don't want that. Um, it's a part of me. It's who I am, and some things I struggle to do that I need to do, and I will slowly learn how to deal with the way that I feel, and be able to do those things. If any of these words make sense, um, but I just wanted to kind of chat about how difficult it was, because I know that hearing someone talk about it when I was going through it, what was that just came up on the screen? Something was like, oh, do this, like F, hold F or something. Oh, it was that. Um, Hearing about someone talk about it, you know, knowing that there was other people with these issues, did soothe my brain a little bit, you know, but back in the day. And so I thought maybe I'd make this video to kind of talk about how, while still hard, things have gotten better. Because they really have. Um, it Some days are worse than others. Some days are very hard to get through. But with time, it's gotten easier. It really has, with the right people around as well. It definitely is a big thing. You can't be surrounding yourself with idiots. God, I'm getting surrounded over. Um, but where was I? Getting diagnosed, being at school, right? Um, so I didn't go to school. Got diagnosed, and my parents took me out of school to be homeschooled. So my parents are all teachers. So my dad, my stepmom, my mum, they're all teachers. So I was taken out of school to be homeschooled because it got to the point, you know, it sounds ridiculous, but it wasn't worth the stress of trying to get me to go to school. And so I was homeschooled, and that had its own difficulties and still wasn't easy. You know, I still had my issues. I still couldn't go out, and I couldn't do certain things. But it made it easier for everyone at the time. And it hasn't really hindered me, to be honest. I've had a bad time, but you know, now I'm getting older. Um, it's getting easier to deal with. I'm doing better. Um, and things are feeling a bit better. But God, would I not go back? I really wouldn't go back. My jeez. Oh, hated it. Still would. Still would. It's awful. Horrendous, some would say. Um. Oh goodness. Make a fool of myself on this channel. I really do. Um. My God. I'm losing my will to live here. I'm losing my words to speak. I'm pressing all sorts of wrong buttons as well. God. So yeah, my autism diagnosis wasn't a bad thing. It was very helpful. And at the time, was very good. It didn't hinder me negatively. It helped me. Now, in my adult life, I I'd love to say the same thing. That it's helped me. It hasn't hindered me. But actually, I think I would be lying if I said that. And I know I talk positively on this channel, and how things will get better, and etc etc. But something like this, there is always a certain group of people who do not understand and will refuse to understand. They think, I'm just making it up. I'm just milking it. There's no such thing. Um, all these things that make my life considerably harder. Because sitting and explaining what autism is and how it affects me is very difficult. It's stressful, and people don't get it. And so it's made things like relationships um, and that's not just romantic relationships, friendships, family relationships. It's made it difficult because people don't understand. And I'm fine, if people just don't understand, and they are willing to understand it, to be more, uh, what's the word? Not giving, but more. I know what I'm trying to say. More respectful, I guess. If that's what they're wanting to do, they're just wanting to help and be helpful and not be a hindrance. That's absolutely fine. Not everyone's gonna know the ins and outs of autism, and it affects everyone differently. So they're not gonna know how it affects you. Um, that's fine. People want to be better for the people that they love, and that's a nice thing. But there's a lot of people that go out of their way to not understand, and they don't want to understand. They don't want anything to do with it. It's made up. It's all these things I said, and it has been very difficult. I've met a lot of those types of people. Um, but my my thoughts on it, here. I don't want those people in my life. Whether I am autistic, not autistic, anything, I wouldn't want those types of people in my life. So, in a sense, I am glad, to have this repellent from, uh, pardon the language, assholes. Really, because that's what it is. It's just it's it's dickhead repellent. And in that sense, it's amazing. Um, so I struggled a lot, and I still do. I mean, at the end of the day, my main coping strategy at the moment is sitting and talking Plants vs Zombies for 15 minutes. But no matter how much I have struggled, and no matter how much I continue to struggle, now I'm older, it feels like it's worth it to go through that, because you meet the right people. Eventually, you meet the right people, and eventually things start to make sense. Eventually, you start to work it out, and you become your own person who understands themselves. Sometimes you need a little bit of help to do that with professional people, but that's absolutely fine to have that. I've had that many times, and it's all been worth it. Everything's been worth it. the school, the diagnosis, the everything. It's been worth it to be where I am now, and I truly believe that the people that deserve to be in places get there. Sometimes bad people get to good places, but I like to believe that eventually it comes around. Doesn't always, but most of the time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this far, I'm absolutely ecstatic about the support that I've had on videos recently. The comments that some people are leaving. I hope that everyone that watches these videos and likes them and comments on them, I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm putting in a lot of effort. Sometimes doesn't seem like it, I am just sitting there talking. But for me, that is a lot of effort. Believe me. I really appreciate it. I want to possibly start making some extra videos per week, but I'm not going to push myself. Those videos will be different. Probably zombies, most likely zombies content, just to keep it similar enough. But I'm thinking, something different, some stuff with some friends, maybe some challenges and I don't know, custom maps. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not going to push myself too much at the moment. Just keep it how it is. See how that keeps going. Right. I'll see you next week for a nice little Valentine's special episode. Thanks again. See ya.